I'm Melinda Hindenburger, and this is the video version of Politics Daily's Woman Up Women's blog. Today we're discussing a couple of the '08 campaign revelations from a new political book, Game Change, by Mark Halperin and John Heilman. On 60 Minutes last night, Senator John McCain's former chief strategist, Steve Schmidt, talked about fear in the McCain camp that Sarah Palin's vice presidential debate prep was going so badly that they were braced for a debacle of historic and epic proportions. Another, perhaps more surprising tidbit from the book is that Hillary Clinton had to be talked into becoming Barack Obama's Secretary of State. For one thing, because she knew her husband was a potential problem, and that wherever Bill Clinton went, drama was sure to follow. Patricia Murphy, what do you make of Steve Schmidt's? He can't seem to stop talking about Sarah Palin. Does this seem like fair commentary at this point, or what did you make of his comments in this book?
Well, first of all, I don't know why he won't stop talking about Sarah Palin. At this point, I think it's of greatly diminishing returns. He needs to just zip it up about Sarah. But I also think it speaks to this incredible culture clash between the Palin campaign and the McCain campaign. It was a group of old school, old hands, Washington-based political consultants, and here comes Sarah Palin, and I thought you could see even during the campaign that there was a real disdain for her, a chauvinism, kind of an arrogance toward her, and I think that his comments about her, just the fact that they were so worried about how she was going to do in this campaign. She's a sitting governor. She could hold her own. She actually ended up doing pretty well in that debate. I think it spoke to the arrogance of that campaign, and they didn't even see the value that other people saw in her.
Right.
She obviously has her downsides, but I think that the McCain campaign didn't use her to their best advantage, which I think they would have done better if they had.
I'm wondering at this point, Bonnie Irby, I wonder what you think about this. I mean, McCain is probably going to have a challenge from the right in his upcoming senatorial reelection campaign. So maybe this sort of continuing to, take a sledgehammer to Sarah Palin's head might not even be so beneficial to McCain at this point. Do you think that's going to be a factor in his race?
It may well be a factor in his race, but I want to get back to, for a moment, if I can, Steve Schmidt and why does he keep talking about it. If you were making your living writing books and doing speeches and 60 Minutes asked you to do an interview, I don't think you would zip it up. I think you would get out there and talk. And secondly, I do want to say I'm not surprised by his revelations, and I don't think anybody should be. I mean, no matter what you think of Sarah Palin, and I do think there were times when she was treated in a sexist manner by the media more so than by the McCain campaign, but she's not an intellect. She is clearly not an intellectual. She's not brilliant. I'm not going to say the opposite, but it's pretty obvious that this is not an intellectual heavyweight. So the fact that he's saying that she was, a disaster to prep doesn't surprise me at all. It takes a brain to be really good in these debate situations.
But in politics, that's an appeal to have that every woman. She's got tons of charisma. So I take your point about why you would not turn down the chance to be on 60 Minutes, but I do think it's hurting McCain as much as it is anyone else at this point. Bonnie Goldstein, you were saying that this revelation about Hillary Clinton really resisting taking this wonderful job has sort of changed your view of her. How has your view evolved?
Well, the thing about Hillary is, as a woman, I loved a woman on the ticket. But during the campaign, I was really favoring Barack Obama just for his rhetoric and his style and his lovely manner. And Hillary seemed kind of brittle and difficult. And then at some point during the campaign, I thought that she, not to overuse the name here, she womaned up. She became more... it was almost like her learning curve had leveled out, and she sort of got the rhythm of it. Even though obviously she was a veteran of many campaigns with her husband, she came to understand what people expected of her. And at this point, I feel like she has the story that she said to Barack Obama that the problem with her being Secretary of State would be her husband, showed that she was completely autonomous from her husband, and that she and Barack sort of had to solve the problem of Bill
and certainly
together.
self-aware, certainly
Yeah.
more self-aware than maybe everybody gave her credit for. So Rhea Misra, what's the takeaway on these two women, do you think, that we come away from this with what new knowledge?
Well, we're not learning anything new about Sarah Palin. I mean, we knew that there was some tension in the campaign. We knew that the debate prep wasn't maybe not going as well as it could. I mean, we heard from all of the participants since the debate up to now. But I think really for both women, the big thing is that they both end up coming off very well. To echo Bonnie, it really humanizes Hillary. And for Sarah Palin, it's nothing that we haven't heard before. It's not a blow that she won't survive.
And helps her when she's criticized in a way,
Exactly.
because that's part of her appeal. I thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Woman Up's video blog. Thanks.